would. I learned from one of your previous programs that there was, without doubt, a hostile takeover when Hubbard died, and his supporters, Mark Yeager, Ray Midoff, Mark Ingber, Heber Jensch, Norm Starkey, and Guillaume Lessev, were all eventually dumped into the hole and constantly abused and mistreated by Miscavige. Assuming that is the case, I would like to know what on earth do those people do every single day, and at what point do they stop and think, well, we're saving the planet? But assuming they do think that, does it ever cross their mind that they aren't saving the planet at all, but seem to be living on a prison planet, the very same thing they were in charge of saving mankind from? Surely it must cross their minds that something's not right here, or they are so far gone, and as good Scientologists, they fully believe they brought all of this upon themselves. Because as we all know, and then you have told us, Scientology can never be in the wrong. I'd be fascinated to hear your take on this, Chris. All right, Steve, thanks for this. And you see, it's kind of all of the above. Here's the thing about people, and especially the people you're asking about, these are Ray Midoff, Mark Ingber. These are people who were in Scientology for decades. I've been in the Sea Org for decades. I mean, we're talking all the way back to the 1970s. And that's a long time ago. These people have been in this mindset for a very long time. And I think you'll agree with me that anyone, anywhere, in any mindset, in any belief set is, a worldview. We construct this. And anybody who is in one for any length of time, decades, is going to be pretty used to it. This is their life. This is how it is. There isn't some other way to be. And that kind of acceptance of a harsh, abusive even environment is just kind of, okay, this is how it is. And this is, I speak about this from my own experience as a Sea Org member of 17 years, where I endured all kinds of physical and psychological nonsense that I was well aware was nonsense when it was happening. I didn't want it. I didn't agree with it. I didn't think it was a good thing to do, but I didn't feel like I had a choice, because the trade-off was, if I don't follow these rules, if I don't agree to do this because this guy is really pissed at me right now and I have to follow his orders. Well, if I don't do that, it's the door. You're out, you're gone. And that is a completely unacceptable alternative for people who are in a situation like that. What I try to stress here with the point about cultic belief sets is that you have a belief that you believe in so hard, that you are so sure is true, that you're really willing to go all the way for it. And we all have those ideas. Some of them, mostly, for most people in the world, they experience that level of belief or dedication or honor or duty or sacrifice when it comes to family, when it comes to maybe sometimes their job, but more often maybe personal things, clubs or groups or something, especially, maybe if they started it or founding parts of it or something. I mean, it's a matter of making the thing yours. This is your Scientology, okay? Getting to these guys. And when we talk about people like Ray Midoff or Mark Ingber or Mark Yeager or Heber Jensch, you are talking old school management. These are people who are involved in creating the very foundational structure that Scientology still operates on. Hubbard was winging it. He was here, he was there, he was putting stuff together, he was trying to figure crap out as he was going. He was taking a lot of advice from other people, earlier renditions of Mark Ingber and Ray Midoff and the like, both on technical matters and on policy matters. And Mary Sue was a constant through all of this. So all of these people, what I'm trying to say here is all these people built this structure. They weren't just participants. Ray Midoff was not just some guy who walked in off the street, got beat up a little bit, and then went, this is kind of fun. I think I'll stick with this. And, these are people who rose over years and years through a lot of training, a lot of indoctrination, a lot of activity, a lot of gung-ho pushing and fighting and helping and working and, blood, sweat, and tears. And they feel that these are old guys. I mean, at this point, very old guys. And whenever, their decision point, their window of opportunity to step out of this picture and no longer be part of it was probably closed in the 1980s, certainly by the 1990s, because Miscavige had them under his iron fist when he took over. Some of these people, though, let's not forget, some of these people helped Miscavige take over. So, to that degree, I suppose you could say that there's blood on their hands. But the truth of the matter is that what I'm trying to speak to is that from their point of view, they know that they enabled this man and put him in this position or helped put him in this position. And there's nothing they can do about it now. And this is their life now. I mean, when you get to cross, 70 years old, and I believe all these guys are probably in their 60s at this point, or 70s, if not older. I did no math. Okay, I'm just totally throwing this out here. But, you get to a place where your environment, your world, the world you've come to live in and you're going to have as your life, you just settle. You just go, well, this is it. This is as good as it's going to get. And the idea of changing that up or escaping or, and who's to say, by the way, that some of these guys haven't tried to escape? We know Mark Yeager sure did. And as a result, he was put on basically solitary confinement for a good period of time and hard physical labor. So, they've also had some rather harsh lessons delivered to them at the hands of Miscavige. Remember that we're not talking about people in a room who could just get up and walk out and go make their way in the world. It's no big deal. There happens to be a psychopath at the door who is actively preventing them from leaving. And he happens to have a little army of young people who will basically do anything he says. Are these old guys really going to step up and step out of that? Are they really going to make a fuss at this point? No, of course they're not. I am sure all of them, being human beings and having rational minds and moral compasses that they have, I'm pretty sure every single one of them has had many instances, just like I did, of doubts, of fear, of uncertainty, of knowing that what you're doing isn't really what you ever imagined you would be doing or should be doing. But it's the cause. It's your life. It's what you're there. I mean, it's all your friends. It's your family. It's everything. Your whole world is this thing. And after a certain point, it's almost impossible to consider stepping out of it. I hope I'm painting a picture that makes sense here, because it makes sense to me. And it's not just a matter of they're all just a bunch of stupid idiots, right? And Steve, I know you're not saying that they are, or even implying that in your question. But you asked for my take on this. And so this is kind of where I can come from on it, is that if you can imagine the thing that means most to you in your life, whatever it is, whatever relationship it is, or whatever subject or topic it is, like imagine for a second, what is the most important thing to you? Not you, outside of you, your club, group, belief, person, whatever it is. Now imagine me asking you, for you, on your own, willingly, and with full, determination, drop it, skip it, change your mind, knock it off, stop doing that. Stop loving that person, stop wanting that job, stop doing that work, stop being a part of that activity. Just knock it off right now. I mean, how easy is that for you to contemplate? If it's truly an answer to the question I asked you, it should be damn near impossible for you to contemplate it. And to the same order that, could I just leave my wife? Could I just get up and leave Melissa now? Because we have a fight, or because things get a little out of hand. And that's kind of where I'm trying to make that comparison, so you understand that when you're in that mix, when you're in that situation, as bad as it might look or feel or be for you, you always imagine it's going to come to an end. There's going to be a stop to this. We're going to be able to get on with the whole reason I'm here in the first place. And even if you get that beaten out of you, you still want to make the best of the situation. Everybody does that. Everybody, through conditions that were much harsher than anything that these particular individuals have had to endure, even under David Miscavige. People have found hope and the reasons to go on and reasons to continue fighting the good fight as they see it. And that's how these guys are. They think they're fighting the good fight. So that's why it's not really so alien or weird or strange to me anymore, is to try to imagine why people would put up with the kind of things that they put up with under Miscavige. Because you have a purpose and a belief and your life has meaning and is defined by this group that you're part of and the subject matter that you're part of. Okay, so I hope that gets that across. And I realize I might be coming across a little impatiently here, and I hope that's not. I just realized that, and I hope that's not how I'm coming across, because I'm trying to explain it in the simplest possible way that hopefully people can get this. It's really not any, a whole lot different from the everyday things all of us experience. Like I always say, though, it's just taking the volume and turning it up to 11. Okay, thanks, Steve.